We've already created a Google site, and today we're going to add a little bit more to it, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about learning.com. So first thing, you can go to your Google site, and we can open that up. And so we're going to talk a little bit about this first, and we'll talk a little bit about learning.com. So this is more or less what I had last time. We didn't really spend much time talking about customization or adding any customization. I'm not going to really do that much with it yet. But there are a couple things that I would like you to do with it. So the first thing that I want you to do today is to add a logo. We're not going to spend a bunch of time with this for right now. Instead, we're going to use one from a collection that I'm providing for you. There is a lot of stuff out there on the internet, and I'm sure that you know how to find stuff already, but there are certain issues with just going and grabbing something. So just because you can do it doesn't mean you have permission to. So I've found some different sets that we are allowed to use, and I have them on my desktop over here. The first thing that I thought of is like, let's use little avatars that actually might resemble us some. So I had found this one with all these different avatars. And as I was going through them, thinking like this was pretty good, I remembered that, protecting who we are and all of those sorts of things, that this probably isn't the best idea. So the next thing that came to mind was, instead of little avatars that look like people, let's use animals or nature or stuff like that. So I found some different ones. This site here there's tons of different sites out there, but this site here allows you to download different graphics, different icons. Some of them are free, some of them aren't, but there are certain limitations to them. Now you could spend forever on here, and that's not what we're doing. I've already grabbed several. I logged in, downloaded them, etc., and I'm going to share the links on ManageBox so that we can download them and find them. So here are the different ones that I grabbed, and there's actually quite a few here. I like this one stylistically the best. They're super cute, but they don't have some of the options that I was hoping for. So you could use one from one of these, the Free Pick Nature and Animals folder, or there's this Animals folder, Free Pick Animals. There's a good number in there that you can look at. And then there's the Free Pick Animals and Nature. So I was trying to decide what I would use myself for the example. Do I want to use something like a snake? Because I teach Python in computer science, which the icon for that is a snake. Not this snake, but it's still a snake. Do I want to use something like an earth, since I think taking care of the earth is important? Maybe. Do I want to use a bird because I like birds? Maybe. I think I decided on using the owl because that's the mascot of the university that I graduated from. So I'm going to use the owl, but you can use whichever one you would like from these three different sets. So I know this is the one I want. I can go back to my site, right? I've clicked on my browser, so that way it's the active window. And if I hover around here, we should get this. I can tell it add. I'm going to tell it upload, right? Because the icon is on my computer. Now, if you don't have the icon on your computer, then you're going to need to go into ManageBox, go to Tasks and Units, go to the current assignment, and then download them from here, right? So this is where you can get them from. When you download them, by default, they should download to your downloads folder, right? I've moved them to my desktop to be a little bit easier to show you, but by default they'll be in here. So now that they're on my computer, I can click upload, and now I can navigate to them. Now by default it's going to my downloads, right? So we can see downloads is selected, but I moved them to my desktop, so I have to go there, and now I have to find the image that I want. So I wanted the owl, but I wasn't really paying attention to which folder that was in. So let's see if I can find it. I don't think it was this one. Luckily, it is in alphabetical order for this one. Oh, there's an owl, but that's not the owl I wanted. I wanted the other owl. Maybe this one? So this one is still in alphabetical order, but they've got the numbers in front, which then it looks at before it looks at the word, which isn't very helpful. So that makes the computer's attempt to alphabetize it a little irrelevant. I don't see it in that one. So naturally, it's in the last one. And this person did the same thing, right? So they've got numbers on them, which then make the alphabetizing irrelevant. Okay, that's a little bit difficult to do. I'm going to switch this up here to icons instead of those methods, and I think this will be easier to find him. There we go. Yeah, that was easier. So I can click on that, and it'll add the logo. It's working on it. There we go. I can choose the background, so transparent, white, or black. I'm going to go with transparent. I like that, and I think that's good for right now. Now, I do have permission to use this icon, and you have permission to use these icons as well, but there is a catch, right? So this icon is released in Creative Commons. You can download stuff from just about anywhere on the internet, right? But that doesn't mean you have permission. So this website and some of the others have different types of permission. This website is saying that you can use our stuff, most of it. Some of it costs money, but some of it doesn't. The ones that are free, you can use as long as you give them credit. So on these icons, the people that we have to give credit to is FreePick. And when you download these sets, you have a document here about the license that talks a little bit about that. So what we have to do is, since we're using it on the page, we have to add somewhere on the page information about that. So I'm going to add another text box, and this will say owl icon by FreePick, published with CC 3.0, and I don't remember exactly what. CC 3.0 BY. So CC is Creative Commons, and that means that it's okay for other creators to use it and to modify it as well, as long as they're giving credit to where it's from. So that's kind of the agreement of saying, like, if you're going to use it, that's fine, but this is what you have to do to be able to use it. Of course, I could have found other graphics on the web and just grabbed them, and I could have used them even without permission, but, you know, you could get in trouble if whoever owned it decides to do something about it. Grade-wise, I'm going to be looking for this. I'm going to be looking for one of those icons. So the next thing for us to talk about is learning.com. Don't close this tab yet. We're going to come back to this. So in learning.com, you should be able to log into this, right? Your way of logging in was using like the first 5 of your last name and the first 3 of your first name, and then 000 or 001 or whatever it was. And this was both your username and your password, right? So if you don't know how to get in yet, that's how you do that. Mine's a little different. Oh, and don't forget to make this Spring Branch ISD. And when you log in, you should see the adaptive keyboarding assignments, which you might have to enable pop-ups if you hadn't already, or if it forgot. Try again. There we go. And you should see something like this, right? So from here, what I want you to look at is at the top, we can see the dashboard, right? And here it will tell you sort of how you're doing. How many words per minute on average you're able to type, what your accuracy is, and then some of these statistics, right? So how many exercises have you done? How much time have you spent on it? You can see that over time on this graph, and another graph, this one being words per minute, the other one being accuracy, And then here you can also see accuracy by keys, lowercase and uppercase. So here I can see which letters I tend to struggle with more, right? So, and as you do more on this, these will update and these can change with time as you practice more and more. Hopefully, you get better at it, right? Next to that, we have games. And as you spend more time here, you will earn more time in the game. Badges, which you'll earn more as you go through. And you've got settings and resources, right? So, first thing I want you to do is go to your dashboard. Take a screenshot of this right here. So there's two different ways to do the screenshot. We talked about Command-Shift-3 already, right? That drops a screenshot of the whole screen on your desktop, like so. But what if I don't want the whole screen? What if I only want part of the screen, right? So this has way more than I need. I only want this part, right? So instead of Command-Shift-3, I can do Command-Shift-4, which will give me a crosshair, and then I can grab just the part that I want. I also want you to screenshot down here, accuracy by key. All right. And now on my desktop, I have both of those. I can toss out this other one because I don't need the full screen, right? So I'm going to throw that away. And I'm going to put these on my Google site. Now I'm not going to put them on the front page. I actually want to make a new page. So back on my Google site, right, I've left the tab open, right, so I can jump back and forth. I can go to Pages. I can go down here to create a new page, and I can call this Typing. And it's making the page for me. It's thinking a little bit. There we go. I can go to Insert. I'm going to add a text box. I'm going to put today's date. For me, it's the 29th, but for you, it will be the 30th. So I'm just going to pretend that it's tomorrow already, that it's the same day that you're watching this. So Wednesday, January 30th. Typing progress. Or maybe, actually, my screenshot was from earlier, right? So I haven't done any typing yet. So this would actually be from the previous class, right? So that would be Monday, January 28th, typing progress, and then I can add an image and I can upload this, right? Now my image is on the desktop, so I need to go back to the desktop, and I'll do this one first, right? And I'm going to add one more. There we go. So that looks good, and I can do publish. Now that I have more than one page, notice that I've got these little buttons up here, right? One to the main page, one to my typing page. And if I view published site, now I can go to home, which has basically nothing, or I can go to typing. Now there is one little problem on this page. I've got my owl up here still, he's on every page, but I don't have that little credit. So I need to go back to my home page, and I need to copy this, right? So I can highlight it and do Command-C for copy, and go to my typing page. I need to have it on here as well. Any page that has that free graphic that I'm using needs to have credit. So I'll add a text box, and that will go there. All right, publish again. Let's actually make sure it looks the way I want. Perfect. So now, with the remaining time, I want to try to improve this a little bit. Now this is good, I'm happy with that, but I'm not really happy with those down there, right? And even those, like, those aren't so great either. So I can work on this some more to try to improve those. And after a little while, I can also try out Dino Typer. Now, if you can't do Dino Typer yet, then you haven't done enough time in here to actually earn time in the game. So Practice some more, do some more of this, and with time, you'll be able to play the game as well.